Welcome back, Sasa23 here, back again with some knife therapy, and today we have one of the Amazon Knife of the Month picks. This is coming from Shieldon Knives, a new company. This is their Empoleon model, coming in at $50 on Amazon. And let's get some specs out of the way so you can have an idea of the size of this knife. Total length of 8.03 inches, blade length of 3.5 inches, a grip area from here to here of 4 inches, and a blade stock thickness of 0.115, so it's on that thinner side. And the behind the edge thickness on my particular knife is around 15 thousandths, sharpened at 20 degrees per side. This knife right here was probably one of the sharpest budget production knives I've ever received out of box. Y'all saw you can see the factory edge on the testing, and it performed outstanding. So let's break off into some of that testing and we'll be right back. All right, this is the factory edge. It came ridiculously sharp. No resistance whatsoever. Just the way of the knife. Screaming sharp. Let's hope it stays that way. Alright, blade's nice and hot from moving it through the cardboard fast. It performed pretty darn good and went through the cardboard without any issues. Alright, now we're going to try to cut up some of this half-inch twisted sisal rope. We're going to try to do 20 cuts. Might do more, might do less depending on the knife. Alrighty, wow. This thing did absolutely amazing. I did 40 cuts, and it was still push cutting it with ease. Very, very impressed so far. Alright, to save time, I'm probably just going to put what I'm cutting up on the screen. Alright, this thing performed outstanding. Went through all the material very easily and still feels nice and sharp up there in the front. After all that cutting so far, still razor sharp. Very impressed so far with the performance of this knife. Alright, we're going to test the ergos and how well this edge is still biting on this pine 2x4. We'll start out light, checking that edge, and then put a little bit more pressure behind the cut. All right, there we go. It was biting very well. You could see up here in the front where I was doing the finer curls. Comfortable in hand. Of course, when you have just a neutral, thinner scaled knife, it's you got to hold on to it a little tighter so it doesn't twist in the hand. But in a pinch, I think it worked great, and that edge performed outstanding. All right, we're gonna check their edges after doing all the cutting. Yeah, this thing's still nice and sharp. Alrighty, I hope y'all enjoyed that footage. It was a pleasure. That's all I can say. You can look at this. You have just a nice classic drop point blade. It has that titanium coating on it that held up fairly well. None of it no steel is showing through it. Not usually my favorite. You can get it in this gray or black finish. I wouldn't mind seeing a nice stonewash finish on it. It would look nice in my opinion. You got the Shieldon knives on this side, blade steel, which is D2 in the name of the knife, and the designer, which is Django, and the model number very small down there. Got a nice sharpening choil, executed nicely. No jimping up top, but it's not needed. You got a nice flat spot to put your finger. I had no issues whatsoever in any of the cutting I did where I felt I was going to slip off. Got a nice precise point for piercing. It did excellent dragging through the leather. The action, the performance first was outstanding. This thing is still nice and razor sharp. I think there's two standouts with this knife. Performance, the performance, cutting ability, and the sharpness out of box, first of all. Second is this action. They pride themselves on their detents, and how the knife comes out, and just watch and see. That I'm doing a light switch, and as soon as it breaks that detent, it's coming out with authority. You can do that light switch and somewhat of a push button if you want. Comes out just the same both ways. It's got that very crisp release to it, and when it does break that detent, the momentum just shoots it out. It's on ceramic bearings and a ceramic detent ball to help it come out even faster. So definitely one of the stars of the show, besides the awesome performance out of this knife, is definitely that detent. Close it up. The knife carries well in the pocket, goes in the pocket nicely. The clips leaves a little bit to be desired there. You have a good bit sticking out, but you can easily grab it. It's a budget knife, holds it in nicely, comes out nicely. It is tip up right hand carry only. And they do offer a nice belt sheath if you like that kind of thing. Got a nice snap right there, good positive click to it, and pretty decent construction. We'll talk about this a little bit later. So the in and out of the pocket's nice, and that the thin nature of the knife overall allows it to sit up against the side of that pocket and pretty much disappear in there. The ergos were way better than I expected. You have contoured scales, so every grip from whenever I was cutting, saber grip was comfortable, hammer grip was comfortable, and I was kind of afraid that the skinny nature of the handles and the neutral grip was going to kind of make it want to twist in my hand. But I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't have that. Maybe whenever I was bearing down into the cuts, doing like a hammer grip, a little, but not so much, because it does have texture along the G10 that did a good job with that. If you wanted to do a reverse grip, it's comfortable because it's rounded right there, and being that you have that neutral handle, this grip right here as well, doing those pull cuts like that or chest lever pulls like that, it is comfortable in that manner as well. The lockup on the knife is like a bank vault. I was kind of surprised. It can be hit or miss with a budget knife. You got about 50% lockup. Absolutely. When I say no up and down whatsoever, you cannot muscle anything or side to side either. Very tight lockup, and it feels like a well-dialed knife, which is glad to see because they'd reached out to me. I wanted to buy my first one. I never like to accept any knives before I know what their quality's like, and so far, I'm impressed. Do a quick size comparison with the Ontario Rat Model 1. So it's probably about a ½ inch shorter than the Rat 1 and the Rat Model 2. So it's right in between the two. It's closer to the Rat Model 1 in whole overall length, as you can see. So there you go. The overall aesthetic of the knife, I mean, I like it. It's a little plain, but some people don't want a all jazzed up knife. You do have some texture on the handle scales that looks nice. Just that classic drop point blade. I will say, at first, my first initial thoughts whenever I saw it, I was like, it's just a little plain, but I mean, it got me to buy it. And the more I carried and used it, and the flipping action, all that stuff tied in together, just made me want to carry this more. I ended up carrying this one a lot more than the other Amazon Knife of the Month pick, the CH knife. So, for me, I enjoyed this one more overall. It's breaking in nicely. The action's getting smoother and smoother. And that detent, like I said, the way it's dialed allows it to just, let's see, just come out like... There's different levels to it. You can feel a good crisp detent that is not too tight to where it's like sticking in there, and just a nice clean crisp break to it. So very nice there. They do have a little cutout so you can get to that lock bar to disengage that lock. Very nicely done there as well. So overall, the value on the knife, I kind of rate this, the performance is up there with like Best Tech in their budget D2. It performed outstanding. It held up a lot longer than I expected it to, and it's still nice and sharp. I mean, it's got a nice sticky edge to it. They said they hand sharpen it, so that's awesome. And I understand you can get D2 knives for a good bit cheaper, just like the other one that I have, $30. But you're usually getting what you paid for. I find that it, like I said, is on that same quality as Best Tech, Kaiser, stuff like that. So you are going to pay a little bit of a premium for those dialed in features. Now, nitpicks and complaints I have with the knife. There wasn't really a whole lot. I mean, like I said, it's just a simple knife. I would have liked to see a small, like, little chamfer on the lock. It doesn't hurt my thumb at all. But, over time, I could see it, bothering a little bit. It's not sharp by any means, but it'd been nice to have a little chamfer on that lock face right there. And something that I did talk with the owner about, the owner, is the pocket clip it makes the knife look cheap, in my opinion. It just looks like a parchment pocket clip. He said, and I said I would have loved to see a deep carry pocket clip on here, and that's something that he's going to be trying to implement on the next batch of knives. And I would love to hear y'all opinions about this, because I don't want to just speak for everybody. I'm sure these costs, they're probably adding $5 to $10 to the knife. That's just added in there with it. I could definitely go without this, because this, I'll never use it. If a knife has a pocket clip, that's how I'm gonna carry it. So I would like to see this go away. If you could get the price down a little bit on this, that'd be awesome. And I would love to see a deep carry pocket clip. Like I said, I just don't love the aesthetics of the pocket clip. I don't know if I talked about it. They do have lightning pockets in there to reduce the weight. This thing is plenty light enough. very, very happy with this overall. I'm definitely excited to test out some of their other models and other steels. They have a 14C28N knife that I'll be checking out whenever those knives arrive, and I'm excited about it. So y'all let me know what y'all think about the Shieldon Knives knife. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.